We cannot allow the corrupt cadres of the ANC to go at home to enjoy pension that they got by corruption. We cannot allow that to happen. So I'm quite happy that Action SA is making this statement, and Action SA is not scared to go out and tell South Africans that, guys, if you trust us with the power, these are people that we are willing to prosecute.
The 360 experience with Thomas M.
You know, guys, as we go into the elections, I cannot help it but wonder, what is it exactly do the small political parties want from the people of this country? What game are they playing at? And what will be their role after 2024 elections? I see the leaders of these small political parties talking the big talk, but every day I'm asking myself the very same questions. What is it exactly do these political parties want from the people of this country? And what will be their role after the elections? Man, you know, with Gayton McKenzie, I admire Gayton McKenzie a lot, because Gayton McKenzie was brave enough to tell South Africans that I want power. I got into politics because I want power. You remember recently during that conference of Daily Maverick, John Steenhuisen basically confronted him, saying that, Gayton McKenzie, you said that you want power. You are willing to work with whoever brings you the biggest check. You don't care where that check comes from. As long as someone brings you the biggest check, you are willing to work with that person. And this is the whole concept of patriotic alliance. But South Africans have never questioned these other political parties that, guys, what is it exactly do you want? We know patriotic alliance want power. What is it exactly do you people want? You are going around telling us how bad the African National Congress is, but you are not telling us your true motives, because we know that there is no way South Africans are going to vote for you in an outright majority. I say the same thing about Mmusi Maimane every day, that Mmusi Maimane is talking the big talk, but we know that there is no way South Africans are going to vote for you so that Build One South Africa can be the governing party. We know that Build One South Africa will never be the governing party in this country, not in this lifetime. So what is it exactly do you want, Mmusi Maimane? What is it do you want, Songeso Zibi with Rise SA? What is it exactly do you people want? You know, guys, recently I was having a conversation with my friend, and we were talking about these new political parties. And he said, Thomas, the only reason we have these small political parties is that these people are going to position themselves to help in the African National Congress to remain in power. The only reason why we have 350 political parties today is that these people are going to fight each other off so that they can help the ANC to remain in power, so that they can get few ministerial positions. This will be their role after 2024 elections. But again, he said, what is dangerous about having these new small political parties is that none of them actually have what it takes to hold the ANC accountable. None of them has the influence to actually influence the African National Congress into doing the right thing. So these small political parties will simply settle for few ministerial positions, will simply settle for few governmental positions, and they will turn their blind eye to the carnage of the African National Congress. Do you remember Patricia de Lille with the Good Party? Patricia de Lille started that party, the Good Party, started the big talk, big girl with the big talk. She got a couple of votes. Then Ramaphosa gave her the ministerial position. Then Patricia de Lille has been turning her blind eye to everything that the African National Congress has done. Patricia de Lille has never held the African National Congress accountable for anything, because these people have given her the ministerial position. So I know right now in the country we are talking about the possible coalition of the ANC and the EFF. We are talking about the possible coalition of the ANC and the DA. But what if the ANC is playing the game differently? What if the African National Congress will say, how about we take IFP for a bigger party, then we can take these smaller political parties? What will the country look like? Because that is the big possibility. And the fact that dealing with these smaller political parties is nothing like dealing with the DA or nothing like dealing with the EFF. The DA and the EFF are going to bring a lot of headache for the ANC. And I think right now the ANC do not want to deal with the headache that will come from the DA. The ANC does not want to deal with the headache that will come from the EFF. So what is ANC's next move? Getting into coalition with the smaller political parties. They might take one bigger political party, which I think is IFP, and take smaller political parties. Then what will the country look like? Most of these people that have started the political parties today, they know very well that there is no way South Africans are going to vote for them in an outright majority. They know it very well. You know, Mmusi Maimane goes around and saying that the South Africans only care about who is popular enough. This is the reason why South Africans in 2024 elections are either going to vote for Ramaphosa, they are going to vote for Malema, they are going to vote for Steenhuisen, or they are going to vote for him, Mmusi Maimane. He's making it look like South Africans are actually thinking about voting for Build One South Africa to govern this country. But he's been disingenuous. This is not what South Africans are looking for. South Africans are not looking for Build One South Africa to be the next governing party of this country. So parties like Build One South Africa, Shiluva, Rise Mzansi, I have a question for you guys. Who are you here to help? Because you know that you are not going to get the majority of the votes. You know very well that Build One South Africa is not going to get an outright majority. So in Zibi, you know very well that Rise Mzansi is not going to get an outright majority. Bongani Baloyi, Shiluva, you know very well that is not going to get an outright majority. Esma Khashule with African Congress for Transformation, you know very well that the South Africans are not going to vote for you in an outright majority so that you can govern the country. So who are you here to help? Who are you here to help? My friend has already said it, that these political parties are willing or are looking to help in the African National Congress. They know the ANC is limpy. They know the ANC is not going to get an outright majority. So these people will be willing to settle for few ministerial positions and turning their blind eye to the carnage of the African National Congress. And if you have to be realistic, the African National Congress would rather deal with these smaller political parties instead of dealing with the DA or instead of dealing with the EFF. The ANC would rather deal with the smaller political parties instead of dealing with the DA or the EFF. So if you're going to vote for a smaller political party, who are you helping? Who are you helping? Because you know very well that South Africans are not going to vote for with an outright majority. As much as you hate the ANC, you hate the DA, you hate the EFF, it's fine. You may go and vote for that political party, but you know very well that political party is not going to win with an outright majority. So who are you helping? Who are you helping? Are you going to be surprised tomorrow if the African National Congress makes Mmusi Maimane the Minister of Education and say that Build One South Africa, bring those votes, and Mmusi Maimane, we know that you love education, will simply make you the Minister of Education. Then Build One South Africa will be willing to turn their blind eye to everything the African National Congress will be doing. The DA is not willing to do that. The EFF is not willing to do that. But when it comes to the smaller political parties, we have an example with Patricia de Lille. We have a clear example with Patricia de Lille, with someone going into governance with African National Congress and turning the blind eye to the carnage of the ANC simply because they were given a ministerial position. So who are these people here to help? Who are they here to help? MK, we know very well that MK is not going to get an outright majority. But when it comes to MK, Jacob Zuma has already told the South Africans that MK is here so that they can revive the African National Congress. So I think the vote of MK has already been decided. The vote of MK is going to the ANC. The vote of MK is going to the ANC. MK wants to govern with the ANC. Maybe Zuma wants to use MK. Maybe Zuma wants to leverage the votes that MK is going to get into governing with African National Congress. EFF has already told the South Africans that, yeah, we are willing to donate our votes to the African National Congress if these people give us the finance minister. But we know very well that there is no way African National Congress is going to give anyone the finance minister. So we are willing to hear what the DA is going to propose. We are willing to hear what the DA is going to propose. But when it comes to these small political parties, who are they here actually to help? Are they here to help the DA and the EFF to dethrone the African National Congress? Or are they here to help the African National Congress to remain in power? Who are they here to help? Who are they here to help? This is one thing that I'm struggling with, man, each and every day. I'm struggling with this thing each and every day. And knowing very well that the DA is not going to get 2/3 majority. The EFF is not going to get 2/3 majority. These political parties that have been formed right now will be looking into going with coalition with the African National Congress. So if you wanted the ANC to go to coalition with a party that is actually going to hold them accountable, the party that has sufficient influence to influence them to take in the country into the right direction. If the African National Congress decides to work with small political parties, then we might as well forget. We might as well forget, because these small political parties are willing to settle for few ministerial positions and turn their blind eye to everything the African National Congress will be doing. Anyway, guys, this is not the purpose of the video today. The purpose of the video today is to talk about Action SA. You know that recently Action SA went to Saxon World, the offices of the famous Guptas, to tell South Africans about the top 10 politicians that Action SA is going to prosecute once they get in power. Guys, remember a couple of months ago, I said that the political party that is going to replace the ANC, the first 5 years, they must dedicate that time going after the corrupt cadres of the ANC. We cannot allow the corrupt cadres of the ANC to go at home to enjoy pension that they got by corruption. We cannot allow that to happen. So I'm quite happy that Action SA is making this statement, and Action SA is not scared to go out and tell South Africans that, guys, if you trust us with the power, these are people that we are willing to prosecute. We know that the list is very long, but we are taking the top 10 of the people that we think that these people have actually broken down South Africa. These are people that we think that if we can prosecute these top 10, the others are small fish. We need to prosecute these top 10. And once we prosecute these top 10, the others are small fish. So shout out to Action SA, man, for making a bold statement. I think when it comes to crime, Herman Mashaba has made a point very valid that Action SA is not going to play with criminals. This thing that we are seeing with Ronald Lamola teasing around with criminals and playing footsie with the criminals, Herman Mashaba said that we are not going to see that with Action SA. We are not going to see that with the Action SA. So guys, let's hear the top 10 corrupt people that Herman Mashaba and Action SA are looking to prosecute once they get in power.
Good morning, everybody, actioneers, members of the media, and fellow South Africans. I honestly cannot think of a better place to announce our list of the top 10 most wanted prosecutions and the action we intend taking to ensure that those culpable are brought to book than the Saxon Wold Shebeen, which is what we are standing in front of. It is the perfect setting to reveal those we intend holding accountable for their actions. It was really difficult to come up with only 10 names. Regrettably, we are spoilt for choice in the corruption department, and there's a lineup of luminaries who should have made the cut in the worst possible way. I was tasked to bring a charge sheet. However, from the outset...
And guys, talking about corrupt people, man, you know, many people have actually said that the African National Congress is sick and tired of Ramaphosa. But they know that Ramaphosa is the only person who can win them these elections. I mean, like, it's insane. The fact that Ramaphosa has broken down the country, but for some reason, the majority of people in the country, they are looking to vote for Ramaphosa. They still want to vote for Ramaphosa. So people are saying that the African National Congress is going to use Ramaphosa to win them these elections. Once Ramaphosa wins the elections for the ANC, then the ANC is going to get rid of him using Palapal. How true is that? How true is that?
I do need to say it would take a team of seasoned prosecutors several months to come up with proper charge sheets against any of our top 10. Let's start with the definition of corruption. Chapter 2 of the Prevention and Combating of Corrupt Activities Act defines corruption as any person who gives or accepts or offers to and accepts any gratification amounting to an unauthorized or improper inducement to act or not to act in a particular manner is guilty of an offense.
And Hemene Mashaba, I know that for the longest time he has been complaining about the Zondo Commission, the findings of Zondo Commission, that the fact that nothing has been done about the people that have been exposed in Zondo Commission, man, it tells us everything that we need to know about the ANC. The fact that no one has actually been thrown to jail, none of the people that have been exposed in the Zondo Commission have actually been thrown to jail. It tells us everything that we need to know about the ANC. But again, we cannot expect the ANC to throw their own comrades to jail. We cannot expect the ANC to act fast when it comes to prosecuting the comrades. Most of the people that were exposed in Zondo Commission are the comrades of the African National Congress. So I think it makes sense, because these people are corrupt. There is no way the ANC is going to throw their own people to jail. So we can complain all we want. If we want something to be done about the findings of Zondo Commission, we have to vote for a different political party. As long as the African National Congress is still in charge, there is no way people are going to be thrown to jail. There is no way.
It's a very broad definition. And when you look at that and compare it to what our top 10 have been getting up to, it's clear that so much more than corruption is at play here. We want these people investigated, and we want to remove the investigations from the moribund magistrates court system and the overcrowded high court system, and ensure that these prosecutions are dealt with by specialized courts formed for this purpose, reporting to a Chapter 9 institution. But as Action SA President Herman Mashaba mentioned in his remarks, an Action SA government would never interfere in public prosecutions. We do, however, believe that politics have shielded these individuals from accountability. How is it possible that...
And guys, before I allow her to continue, please write your top 10 corrupt politicians you would like to be prosecuted. If you have your own top 10, please write it down on the comment section. Please write it down. If you have your own top 10 corrupt politicians you would love to see being prosecuted, please write it in the comment section.
Have shielded these individuals from accountability. How is it possible that after mounting evidence and 2 years after the final state capture report was tabled, not a single successful state capture conviction has taken place? Nor have any of the individuals with adverse findings against them sought to take the report on review, as has been confirmed by Chief Justice Raymond Zondo. We simply cannot live in a country that allows this level of immunity any longer. We need the political will to take action, capacitate the National Prosecuting Authority, the NPA, and ensure it can fulfill its mandate without fear of repercussion. The list of top 10 most wanted prosecutions we are therefore presenting today is a list of high-profile individuals where clear evidence exists against them. These are individuals who are clearly ready to be prosecuted, but instead we've seen delay after delay and excuse after excuse. They deserve to be held accountable, but for political reasons they are being protected. So without further delay, let me present Action SA's list of the top 10 most wanted prosecutions. It's presented in alphabetical order and it's therefore not ranked. So don't take the order in which I'm giving it as the order in which we deem as the order of importance. Number 1, Ace Magashule, Mr. Teflon, who uses his sons to foil allegations that he's involved in corruption in the 255 million rand asbestos tender, corruption in the 280 million rand Vrede Dairy project, contravention of the Public Finance Management Act, fraud, corruption and money laundering. And in fact it was brought to my attention earlier on that one of the houses that his sons occupied is in fact in this very street. Edwin Sodi, top 10 number 2, not a politician but well deserving of inclusion. Mr. Sodi has become synonymous with a new capital elite that is siphoning money from government contracts and channels and channels it through to the governing ANC in the form of donations, all the while delivering subpar work, which has contributed to incomplete crucial maintenance of critical wastewater infrastructure such as the Rooiwal wastewater treatment plant, and we all know what happened there, and resulting cholera. It's a disgrace. Mr. Sodi warrants inclusion because of the allegations surrounding the corruption in the 255 million rand asbestos tender, corruption in the 290 million rand Rooiwal wastewater treatment plant tender, contravention of the Occupational Health and Safety Act, in addition to fraud, corruption and money laundering. And the rot must stop. Number 3, Floyd Shivambu. Those who flaunt it and have certainly not worked for the money they have amassed must be investigated and charged for the part he played in the corruption in the VBS Mutual Bank scandal. The 3.6 million rand in the VBS loot traced to Mr. Shivambu's personal bank account. Corruption and money laundering. And it is for this reason that Action SA would lobby for an SIU investigation into the VBS scandal to unearth the corruption which has taken place, to further solidify the findings of the South African Reserve Bank, the great bank heist which was commissioned by Advocate Terry Mutawa. Number 4, Gwedi Mantashe, back on the ANC lists for Parliament. Notwithstanding the fact that the State Capture Commission report found he unduly benefited from the Bosasa grand-scale corruption. He accepted home renovations and security upgrades from Bosasa. He's been accused of contravention of the Prevention and Combating of Corrupt Activities Act and has been implicated in bribery and corruption. Number 5, Julius Malema. He who uses anything and anyone to deflect and draw attention away from the luxury lifestyle he leads, without having any means of proving that it was honestly earned. We want to see him being investigated for corruption in the VBS Mutual Bank scandal, the stealing of millions of rands through the VBS scheme, the Public Protector report titled On the Point of Tenders for possible violation of our tax laws, corruption, fraud and money laundering. Number 6, Jacob Zuma. He of the fire pool and Nkandla. Is he a fraud or has he committed fraud? Our chief state capture architect who conspired with the Guptas to plunder the state's resources while deliberately and intentionally aiding and abetting the capture of our strategic SOEs such as SARS, SAA, Transnet and Eskom, just to name a few. His disrespect for the rule of law is manifest in his insistence to again attempt to stand for office, knowing that he may not, and not stopping his party from threatening violence if they do not get their way. This is not somebody we want back in Parliament or anywhere near it. Malusi Gigaba, number 7, a captured minister back on the ANC lists. Notwithstanding the allegations that he accepted cash payments from the Guptas, appointed the Gupta family to strategic positions at state-owned companies, and conspired to capture Transnet possible money laundering and racketeering. Number 8, Nomvula Mama Action Mokonyane.
You remember when Nomvula Mokonyane said that if the rand falls, we'll pick it up. If the rand falls, we'll pick it up. And guys, what do you think about Action SA's list so far? Are you happy with the list? Does it make you want to vote for Action SA?
The first Deputy Secretary of the ANC, first female Premier of Gauteng, served as Minister of Water and Sanitation, Environmental Affairs and Communications, and she has been accused of having accepted bribes from Bosasa, seeking to influence the contracting of suppliers for the Lesotho Highlands Water Scheme, violation of the Prevention and Combating of Corrupt Activities Act, and breach of constitutional and ethical responsibilities, and this needs to be investigated. Number 9, Zandile Gumede, former mayor of eThekwini, currently under a massive cloud with allegations of hit squads and money laundering abounding. The allegations include defrauding the eThekwini municipality, committing a 320 million rand tender fraud concerning the Durban solid waste tender, contravention of the Municipal Finance Management Act, contraventions of the Municipal Systems Act, corruption, fraud, money laundering and racketeering. And although Ms. Gumede has been charged, we believe the wheels of justice are moving too slowly and are being deliberately sabotaged. Number 10, Zweli Mkhize, yet another candidate in the ANC list, implicated in corruption in the Digital Vibes tender. 9 million rand was traced to Mkhize's son and his family. The fraudulent contract cost the Department of Health 150 million rand during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Just imagine, man, when people were busy dying, Zweli Mkhize and his son and his family were busy looting the coffers when people were dying. Man, these people are heartless, man.
So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the reason we are here today. To highlight the damage that has been caused to our country over the last 30 years. And unless we do take action, the next 30 may be even worse. Let's uphold the rule of law. Let's investigate those who deserve investigation and ensure that those who have wronged our beloved South Africa and her people are pursued to the fullest extent of the law. Let's get the specialised courts up and running and hold those responsible for corruption to account. Let's weed out the rot. Let's fix South Africa on 29 May. I thank you.
So guys, what do you think about the list of Action SA, man? What do you think about it? Are you impressed with the fact that Herman Mashaba says that these are people that we are willing to prosecute in the first 100 days? We know the list is long, but these are people that we are willing to prosecute in the first 100 days. Does it make you want to vote for Action SA? Does it make you want to vote for Action SA? Guys, please tell me if you have your own top 10 list of corrupt people that you would love to see prosecuted in 2024. Guys, please tell me what you think on the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button, and the most important part, subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso. I will see you next time. Bye bye.
The 360 Experience with Thomas M.